Hello students, welcome to my channel. Today I will discuss about chemical bonding, which is a topic from periodic table. This is the first lesson of this topic and this topic is common for students from all boards. So let's start the lesson. Now, what is chemical bond? Chemical bond is the linkage or it is the force which acts between two or more atoms so as to hold them together as a stable molecule. Okay, so suppose this is an atom X, this is an atom Y. These two atoms are holding each other, right? They are attached to each other. Now, the force that acts between these two atoms, that force we will call it as chemical bond, which actually is holding these two atoms together. And when two atoms joint, then it forms a molecule. So as to form a stable molecule, the force that is holding two or more atoms is known as chemical bond. Clear? Now, to understand chemical bond, first we have to know what is an atom. Atom is the smallest unit of matter that takes part in the chemical reaction. And atoms contain some subatomic particles like protons, neutrons and electrons. Suppose this is an atom, okay? And this is the nucleus that is present. Nucleus is present at the center of the atom, okay? And around nucleus there are many energy shells or orbits are present. Clear? These are the energy shells or orbits and this is the nucleus of an atom which is present at the center of the atom. Now, three types of subatomic particles are present in atom. In nucleus, two subatomic particles are present, protons and neutrons. Both these two types of particles are present in nucleus of the atom. And in these energy shells or orbits, the subatomic particle that is present is electrons. Electrons revolve around these shells or these orbits. Okay, these are the electrons. Now, protons are positively charged. Protons are positively charged. Electrons are negatively charged. And neutrons have no charge. That means it's zero. So, as nucleus contains protons and neutrons, that means positively charged and no charged particles. So, in all total, nucleus is positively charged because protons are present. Due to the presence of protons, nucleus is positively charged and electrons are negatively charged, which revolve around the orbits or shells. Clear? So, this is all about the atom. Now, there are two types of elements that are present. One is metallic elements and another is non-metallic elements. Clear? Two types of elements are present. See, first consider metallic elements. I have already told you about these two elements in case of periodic table. Again, I am repeating. Metallic elements, we can call it as cations or electropositive. I have told you now about these terms. Electropositive. These are the electropositive elements. That means these elements lose one or more electrons. They lose one or more electrons. In this chapter, we will see that metallic elements have 1, 2 or 3. 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons. That means they will have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in its last shell, in its outermost shell. And these elements will lose these valence electrons. That means these elements will lose either 1 or 2 or 3 electrons from its outermost shell to become electropositive. That means to become cation or positively charged elements. Okay. This is all about metallic elements. So metallic elements will lose electrons to become cation or positively charged ion. And they will have either 1, 2 or 3 electrons in its outermost shell. Now about non-metallic elements. Non-metallic elements are electronegative elements. They are electronegative. That means they are negatively charged. They are anions, they are negatively charged ions. So they are anions. What will they do? They will gain electrons. They will gain 1 or more electrons. They contain 4, 5, 6 or 7 electrons in its outermost shell. And they will gain either 4, 3, 2 or 1 electrons. Okay, they contain these elements, that means non-metallic elements contain 4, 5, 6 or 7 electrons in its outermost shell, and they will gain 1 or more electrons to become negatively charged ions or anions. That's why they are known as electronegative elements. Clear? That's the basic difference between metallic and non-metallic. Metallic elements or metals are cations. They are positively charged because they lose 1 or more electrons. And non-metallic elements, they are anions or negatively charged ions because they gain 1 or more electrons. So in chemical bonding, we will find both these type of elements. Okay, both metallic and non-metallic elements. Clear? Now we will see how many number of shells can be present in an atom. I have told you that there are various shells or orbits that are present in an atom. See, there can be 6 shells that can be present in an atom. What are they? K, L, M, N, O, P. These are the 6 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 shells that are present. Okay. Now see, we will see what is the maximum number of electrons that can be present in a particular shell. In case of K shell, maximum 2 electrons can be present. And for the rest of the shells, that means L, M, N, O, P, 8 electrons can be present maximum. In all these shells, 8 electrons can be present at maximum. Let's take the example of halogens. That is, let's take the example of noble gases. Okay, let's take the example of noble gases. See their electronic configuration. If I take the example of helium first, okay, helium, then it contains 2 electrons. Only K shell will be present, 2 electrons. If I take the example of neon, the next noble gas, then its atomic number is 10. So in K shell, maximum of 2 electrons can be present. And how many rest are present? How many is left? 10 minus 2 means 8. So in L, 8 electrons will be present. Like this, electrons will be filled in the rest of the shells. If I take the example of like next noble gas like argon, if I take the example, argon atomic number is 18. K, L, M, 18. Maximum of 2 can be present in case of K. Then 8 can be present maximum. 8 plus 2 is 10. 8 electrons are left. So what will happen here? 8. M. M contains maximum of 8. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 8, 18. Okay? This is the electronic configuration of argon. Like this, we will write the electronic configuration of all the elements that are present in periodic table. Clear? I have shown you by taking the example of noble gases. Clear? Now, we already know, I have already told you in my previous video on periodic table that noble gases have stable electronic configuration. That means their valence shell is complete. Their valence shell is completed. There is no more space for any other electrons. That means they do not lose or gain or share electrons. Why? Because they are inert in nature. Their valence electrons is complete. Their valence shell is complete. Either they contain 2 electrons like that of helium, or they contain 8 electrons like the rest of the noble gas, argon, neon, krypton, etc. That's why they will not take or lose. They will not gain or lose electrons. They are inert in nature. Whereas in case of elements other than the noble gases, what will happen? They have unstable electronic configuration. Why? Because their valence shell is incomplete. They don't have the complete valence shell. Their valence shell is incomplete. That's why they will either lose electron to have a stable electronic configuration, or they will gain electron, or they can share electrons so as to attain the stable electronic configuration. Right? So they are chemically reactive. They are not inert in nature. They will react with other elements. Clear? This is the basic difference between the noble gas and the other elements other than the noble gas that are present in periodic table. Okay? Now, what is the reason for the chemical bonding between the atoms to form a molecule? What is the reason? The driving force for atoms to combine is the tendency of each atom to attain stable electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas. This portion is very important. All the atoms will have a tendency to attain the stable electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas. Like, the simplest example that I can give you is hydrogen. Its atomic number is 1. Its nearest noble gas is helium, whose electronic configuration is 2. Its atomic number is 2. So, hydrogen will always try to attain this atomic number 2. For that reason, hydrogen will gain or it will share the electrons to attain this electronic configuration. That means it will try to have another electron, an extra electron in its valence shell. That means it will try to make its atomic number 2. Clear? In this way, all the elements that are present in periodic table, they will try to attain a stable electronic configuration of that of the nearest noble gas. That's why either they will gain electrons, or they will lose electrons, or they will share electrons with other atoms to form molecule, to become stable. Clear? This is the main reason. Now, there are 2 rules. For an atom to achieve a stable electronic configuration, there are 2 rules. One is the duplet rule, and another is the octet rule. Duplet rule means 2 electrons will be present at the outermost shell. Okay, like that of hydrogen. Hydrogen will have 2 electrons. It will always try to have 2 electrons in its outermost shell, so as to attain the stable electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas, that is the helium. Okay. And what is the octet rule? Here, an electron will try to have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay. Why? Because to attain a stable electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas. So these are the 2 rules by which an element or an atom can achieve a stable electronic configuration. One is the duplet rule, having 2 electrons in its outermost shell. Another is the octet rule, having 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Clear? Now, what are the methods of achieving chemical bonding? 2 methods are there. One is the electron transfer, another one is electron sharing. Electron transfer means there will be 2 atoms present. One will lose electron, another will gain electron. If this atom loses 1 electron, then this 1 electron will be gained by the second atom. In this way, they can form a stable electronic configuration and they can form a stable molecule. Okay, a chemical bond will be established. If this are the 2 atoms present, if the first atom loses 1 electron, then this electron will be gained by the next atom. So one will gain, another will lose. This type of chemical bond we will call as ionic bond or electrovalent bond, and the compound that is forming is the electrovalent compound or the ionic compound. Clear? Next is the electron sharing. Sharing means what? Here two atoms will be present, 1 and 2, and they both will share, suppose for example they will share 2 electrons. Clear? So as to attain a stable electronic configuration, they will share electrons. They will not give, or that means they will not lose, at the same time they will not gain any electrons. They both will share a common pair of electrons. That kind of chemical bond is known as the covalent bond, and the compounds form is covalent compounds. Clear? So these are the two ways by which an atom can achieve chemical bond. Clear? So I hope I have made myself clear and this topic is clear to you all. So this is for this lesson. I will upload the next lesson of this topic very soon. Till then, stay tuned to my channel, and if you think my videos are informative and helpful, then please like and share my videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching the video.